was
Do you feel
weird.
a bit strange there?
Yeah, I feel like I was momentarily replaced.
Yeah, not quite.
Feels strange.
Very strange.
Feels strange because I'm not in my kitchen.
Yeah, where are you? You in a cupboard?
Yeah, I've been put in a cupboard. No, we're hopefully creating a little kind of office music studio type thing at home, which would be lovely, but it's currently not ready. But I'm in it anyway, and the washing machine's on, so you won't be able to hear me downstairs. So that's all.
And you haven't got a dog annoying you. So.
Oh, I haven't got a dog, and oh, the dream. Yeah, no, so it's quite nice to be up here. But how about you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine.
Brilliant. It's been it's a bit miserable today, isn't it? But
yeah, it has been, but it's been nice and warm the other days. Went out for a nice walk. So yeah, it's been good.
Brilliant. Chloe, what's the title for today?
The title for today is Culture with Jesus.
Okay.
But before we move on to looking at that, we've got a kind of challenge sort of thing for you to do. Not challenge, really.
Yeah, I think we've done a couple of these over the past, over lockdown. I've got another top 5 for you. So yeah, it was a few weeks ago we did top 5 goodies and baddies, didn't we? Mm-hmm. This week, we want you, as whoever you're watching this video with, to come up with your top 5 trends. Okay. Now, we're going to put our list up on screen in a little bit, but we want you guys to think of the top kind of 5 trends that you can kind of remember. So some of you grown-ups, some of the kind of kind of 70s, 80s, 90s, like there was some pretty awesome trends, and for some of you guys that are kind of in school now, there's a whole different world of trends that the kind of grown-ups definitely won't understand. So what we want you to do is we want you to pause this video, have a chat around the table, come up with your top 5 trends, and then, as we've done before, get in touch with another family that you know may either be watching or have watched or will watch this video, and share with them your top 5 and see if there are any differences. Okay, so
cool.
Go. Okay, guys, really hope that you dug back into your memories and kind of could think about what was what's been trendy over the years. Obviously, mine and Chloe's lists were right, but we'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us which ones are wrong, or which ones you agree with. That'd be great. Do get
ones that we may not have thought of.
That's true. Actually, we did have a long list, but we probably did miss some. So that'd be really good to kind of hear from you guys on that, and we hope that you also managed to connect with another family on that. Chloe, you said at the beginning that our theme was culture with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help us a little bit? What do we mean? What do we mean by culture?
Good question. Culture is I say it's a big word. It's a medium-sized word, but it's a word that could have lots of meanings, and for some of us might be a new word. We've never heard of the word culture. So culture is talking about kind of like an environment, a place that you might belong to or that you might live in. So a culture might be your family culture, your house, and it's the way that you might behave with each other, your shared thoughts and opinions and beliefs that you might have. Might be a culture, one of your cultures or places you might be is your school. So how you behave and your school ethos, your school motto, that kind of thing, and your school playground. That can have a different culture to the inside the school. What goes on the playground can be quite different to what happens inside school. Football, clubs, if you're gymnastics, dance, all sorts of different kind of cultures. And so we're looking at kind of like the way that we're looking at culture today is how you may behave or act in that particular group or environment that you might be part of. And you could be part of different cultures, I would say.
Yeah, so we're kind of looking at this idea of when we are maybe around other people, that there's like a culture there. So whether, like you say, whether it's like at home or at school or at work or in a club, online.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That could be one.
So, you know, some of you guys might be really into kind of online gaming like Minecraft or FIFA or Fortnite or whatever. Like there's like an online community there. There's an online culture there. And so I think, yeah, we're going to be looking at what Jesus kind of says about culture. How do we do culture with Jesus? And we'll kind of unpack that a little bit as we go along.
Yeah.
But Chloe, do you have a question?
I do. And it's to do with a new thing that we introduced last week. We're going to redo our segment that we introduced last week. Can anyone remember what it is, I wonder?
I wonder.
So welcome to our new segment of our video, and for our I wonder. So Matt, what is our I wonder for this week?
Ooh. Okay, so last week was a good one. I enjoyed that one. This week, I wonder, in what way did Jesus kind of influence the people around him? That is what I wonder. And we want you guys to think about, what influence did Jesus have on the people that he met, on the people that he knew, on his family, on strangers, on maybe if on kind of the wider community, the wider kind of culture in his time. And so we want you to kind of maybe dig around in the Bible for examples, around in the Gospels. We'll put up a couple of kind of Bible passages that maybe we think will kind of help with that. But yeah, so we want you to wonder, in what way did Jesus influence the people around him? Go. I wonder what you guys came up with there. I think it's really interesting to kind of try and think about how Jesus influenced the people around him. Chloe, what did you wonder?
Yeah, so I wondered whether Jesus perhaps changed some of the people's or influenced some of the people's attitudes towards other people. So back in Bible times, it wasn't custom for people to talk to Samaritans, and they were the enemy. Women were seen as quite unimportant, not to be bothered or talk about, kind of thing. Whereas Jesus talked with women, he talked to the Samaritan woman at the well. And so he was going against kind of cultural norms, I guess, at that time, as you say. And so perhaps he influenced people by saying, actually, it's okay. We're all kind of equal.
These people matter.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I like that. I think mine kind of follows on a little bit from that, actually. And it's about when Jesus was never in a rush. And one of the things that I think he maybe influenced people around was like you, kind of being inclusive, but kind of really valuing that person by not letting anything distract from them. So there's a really good story where someone, some servants of a guy called Jairus had come to get Jesus because they needed him to come and heal Jairus's daughter, and they're like, you need to come now, and he kind of eventually kind of went on his way. And as he was going, there's a big crowd, and a lady touched Jesus' cloak and was healed, and Jesus was like, whoa, 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 like someone, someone's something's happened here, type thing. And even though he was meant to be in a rush to go heal Jairus's daughter, he gave that woman the time of day and gave that woman like his full attention. And there's a phrase in a book that maybe some of you guys have read called Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It says that he was fiercely present. And I really like that idea of being really focused on who you're with. Like, I mean, my brain is really good at just kind of jumping all over the place. And if you ever see the outtakes or like mine and Chloe's planning meetings, my mind goes everywhere. So this idea of being fiercely present, fiercely focused on who's in front of me, it's really challenging. And I really like the example that Jesus has. So that was, I think that's how he kind of influenced people. He kind of maybe tried to help them recognize it, like what you were saying, that everyone is, like, he was really inclusive and everyone is valuable. But the way he showed that, I think that was probably quite influential as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went on a bit there. My bad.
That's all right. It's fine. It's a good thing. So today we're going to look at how we can be a bit like Jesus and influence the culture that we are in, the environments that we might be in. And so we have a Bible passage which will really help us unpack that and figure out what that might look like. So if you've got a Bible at home, you might like to... Oh, Matt's got one ready.
I'm at home and I have a Bible.
Well done.
Ready.
You might like to turn to Matthew chapter 5, verse 13 to 16. So if you want to read it.
So would you believe it? That's the paper.
Was it open at that?
Would you believe it?
Oh, I thought you might have planned this. So if you want to read it, or you can read along, it'll probably come up on the screen in a minute and we can listen to it as well. So here we go.
You are like salt for everyone on earth. But if salt loses its saltiness, how can it make food salty? All it is good for is to be thrown out and walked on. You are like light for the whole world. A city built on top of a hill cannot be hidden, and no one would light a lamp and put it under a clay pot. A lamp is placed on a lampstand where it can give light to everyone in the house. Make your light shine so that others will see the good that you do and will praise your Father in heaven.
Cool. So I hope you've read that or followed on and listened to it. Interesting passage talking about salt and light, two quite random objects or items. Yeah. Matt, how would that link in with us talking about how we could do culture with Jesus and life with Jesus? How does that fit?
That's really interesting. So, like, well, I'll tell you what, how about I talk about being salt of the earth and you talk about light of the earth? How about that?
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Right. So, I don't know, don't say it out loud, but I wonder if you've ever had someone cook you a meal and it's not been that tasty. Or, it's actually tasted quite bad. I'm not going to mention any names because I'll get in trouble. But sometimes we have to kind of add things. And one of the kind of, what would have been really common in the days that Jesus was talking here would have been to add salt to the food, add a bit of flavour. And what Jesus is saying here is when you add salt to the food, normally you don't see it. Normally salt kind of is just kind of, it becomes kind of part of the food.
Dissolves.
Dissolves. Good word, great word. And so I think what Jesus maybe is getting at here is that we need to be really noticeable when you change the flavour of your meal. I love talking about food. I could go off track here, Chloe. Make sure you keep me.
Yeah.
But when you add salt to the food, you taste it, but you don't see it, and it changes your meal. And I think when we're talking about doing culture with Jesus, what Jesus is asking us to do in this is to change our culture, is to change kind of what's going on around us, to kind of be that that flavour in our culture, wherever we are, whether it's at school, at home, at work, online, or whatever. God is asking us to kind of be really kind of involved and be in that, but making a really kind of noticeable difference. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite hard actually to know sometimes what to do. Sometimes it's just really easy to just kind of blend in. But actually, Jesus is asking us to kind of blend in, but also stand out and change the culture around us.
Yeah, so it's bits like perhaps like watching what you say, whether you join in with that joke that's going on over there, kind of like it's just being in there.
Yeah. You choose to kind of if people are kind of doing something and you're like, well, I don't necessarily agree with that. Just by your actions, changing the atmosphere, changing the culture. Yeah. How about light, Chloe? It might be a bit easier to grasp, but like, what's she talking about there?
Yeah, so there's in several passages across the Bible where Jesus talks about being light and light of the world, and how Jesus is the light because it's something that's pure, that's clean, that's good, and darkness is seen as like the sin and the darkness and all the bad stuff. And so this passage is talking about how we could be light in our cultures, light in those situations. So how could we shine? It says, make your light shine. Good song if you think of the lyrics going on from that one. It's making your light shine in those cultures. So it's being the positive, the light, the goodness in your cultures. So like at school, doing the shining hope and light. In your family lives, just kind of being Jesus in those circumstances, if that makes sense. But it doesn't have to be anything big. It could just be a case of helping someone when they've fallen in the playground. It could be not joining in when someone's bullying someone over there and perhaps going and telling a teacher, not joining in with the jokes and the sniggering that's going on, but trying to do things that are light and that kind of light is brighter than the darkness, trying to hide.
I like that. And I think when we're thinking about culture and being a light in it, I think there's something really interesting about how light will show up, the things that are wrong, and obviously over the past few weeks, few months, there's been a lot of there's been a massive outcry for justice and for equality, and when we're light, we kind of shine we shine light on the things that are wrong, and I wonder if we take our role as light, as this passage says, seriously. We challenge maybe some of the things that maybe were hidden a little bit by darkness, which is terrifying. Can I just point out? It's kind of really scary to kind of maybe stand up in that way, and stand up and be a beacon or be a light for Jesus. That can be quite scary sometimes.
But it says in verse 16, it says, make your light shine so that others will see the good that you do and will praise your Father in heaven. So being those examples of light and salt in our families, in our schools, people will be able to see Jesus through us. That's like life with Jesus. We'll be able to show Jesus' light. And by doing that, they get to see a bit of Jesus and they can praise God about it. And they might actually get to know Jesus through just your good actions, if that makes sense.
I like that.
So we've got a bit of a question and reflection going on from this, which is where we want you to think about what cultures and things at the moment could you have a good influence in. So it could be school. I know we're not at school at the moment, or some of you are, some of you aren't, so some that might be applicable for.
Starting to go back, aren't we?
Yeah, work, likewise, you might be still at working at home, or you might be working in your workplace, whether you're online or playing out in the street, as long as you're social distancing, you know. How could you be God's light? How could you shine your light? How could you influence those people with a bit of Jesus in those cultures in your groups? So why not pause the video and have a chat, have a think, and how could you do that?
We hope that you were able to, kind of really think about that, and we want to move now towards a bit of a prayer time, and kind of following on from what you guys have just been talking about. We want you to think of a culture that you are a part of, and that you would like to kind of pray about, or that you would like to kind of pray for you within that culture. So if you're thinking about school, maybe go get something that's in your house that reminds you of school, maybe part of your school uniform, or like, you know, school tie or whatever. Or if it's like an online community, online culture, maybe you want to go grab one of your controllers, or you know. So have a little think. Where would you like Jesus' help in influencing culture? So go find that now. Me and Chloe are gonna also find something, and meet us back here. Go. Welcome back. Chloe, what have you got that what culture are you thinking?
So I'm thinking, so I've got my house keys that happen to be on my desk, because they are. And one kind of like environment group that I've got to know and get to know a bit more over lockdown is my neighbours, my street, my cul-de-sac. And quite a few of my close neighbours have had some quite difficult times over lockdown. They've lost loved ones due to COVID-19, or have health issues themselves. And so we really feel at the moment that we're called to be an influence of God in their situations and in our street, trying to show them a bit of Jesus, and perhaps tell them about Jesus and God. So I think that is where I want to be praying about. What about you?
I have picked up my phone, which was also on my desk, because I'm a millennial and it never leaves my sight. No, but I kind of hold this up for kind of thinking about kind of being online. So, you know, like on Facebook or whatever. It's a culture that is quite difficult to be a part of. It's quite it feels a little bit divided at the moment, and I really want to play my part in kind of showing a bit of Jesus kind of whenever I'm interacting with people online. Some people are infuriating, you know, when you have maybe opposing views, or and I think to be able to show a bit more of Jesus to the people that I am interacting with, I think would be what I would like to pray for.
Cool. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, if you want to hold on to, if you can, your item, we're going to pray about that now, perhaps praying for some courage, some boldness to be Jesus' salt and light in those situations, to be able to flavour it and to light them up. So Matt, would you like to pray?
Go on then. Yeah, I would.
Cool.
Let's pray. God, I thank you that you are with us wherever we find ourselves, God, and wherever we're watching this video. I thank you that you are with us. And so, God, I pray for all these things that we are holding in our hands, or that we are thinking of, God. All these different places that we interact with people, all these different places that we want to be a good influence. We want to show your love and your light in these cultures. God, I pray that you would give us strength, that you would give us wisdom and courage to try and reflect who you are in these situations, God. So God, I pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Cool. So I hope you have found this morning helpful. Hope you haven't been too confused about the term culture, and it's helped you to think about how you might be the influence of salt and light in different places that you are part of and you belong to. In the description below this video, there are some song suggestions that you might like to listen to and be a part of. Otherwise, we hope you have a good week, and we look forward to exploring the next part of Life with Jesus with you next week.
And I know we say this every week, but we really mean it. About if you need us, please do get in touch. Our emails are on the website. There's a link in the description to the website. So if you're not a regular at SBC, please do get in touch. If you feel like you'd like to chat to us, maybe you feel like you know us, we'd love to get to know you. If you are a regular at SBC and you've got other contact details for us, please do get in touch with us. We really want to support you guys. We really miss church. We really miss meeting at church and doing Gen Rise and Sunday Gang and the Friday stuff. So it'd be really good to connect with you guys. Like we said, it's really good to be with you, and we look forward to next week.
Yeah, cool. I've learned a new trick.